Hey, Podcast America. Welcome to episode 57 of the Enlightened Neanderthals podcast. And before Michael Kozak gets into the show notes, let's talk about Training Northwest, which you can find at trainingnorthwestllc.com. We're coming up. Well, you know what? By the time you guys hear this, our one and only level 2 class of the year will be gone, so you'll miss that. But the Rifleman Camp is coming up August 9 to 11, and we still have, I want to say, 4 spots left for that. Don't miss out. There are a surprising number of return customers for that event, and we even have we have 2 father and sons coming, which is going to be awesome. Yeah, which
we've talked about it before, but I mean that it is a truly a fun event to have 3 days of training. Like you don't get it.
And we make it fun too. It's informational, it's intense, and it's when we keep it fun the entire time. So it is a good experience. Where I was going with that with the repeat customers, and both the guys who are bringing their kids out have been to classes before. So it's the proof is in the pudding, right? Like when you get fathers bringing sons out, I feel like that's a hell of a compliment. Mm-hmm. So you can find that at trainingnorthwestllc.com. And I guess next we've got the Electric North Jiu-Jitsu pantheon of podcasts. And I'm going to start with Stones and Bones himself, because I just spent a night out assisting him with a ceremony.
Yeah, Rolling Stones and Bones, dude.
Yeah. And what I will say
were you dealing with the Stones or were you dealing with the bone?
The Stones.
Okay.
And,
more of a bone guy myself.
This guy. On a serious note, in a world where we are rife with mental health issues, Tyler is a guy who's making a difference.
Yeah.
And I got to participate in it this weekend and see it for what it like. I've been out there as a participant, and this last weekend, for the first time, I was a
cadre.
Yeah, exactly. And he's doing good things out there. So it's Compassionate Viking Podcast at gmail.com. Veterans, first responders, get a hold of Tyler. He's doing, like I said, it's the
powerful
proof.
Shit.
Yeah, he's doing powerful shit out there. All right, Mike, next podcast. Go. Too late, Jordan, go.
When you said that.
Too late, Mike.
And you said
rapid fire
in a world, in a world where, and as far as like that whole ad right there, I was like, in a world where, yeah. And when you said anyway,
next podcast,
Christy Campbell, what's going on with Coffee Talks?
Will no tell. My People, the Patriotic Islander, sponsored by Beetle Nut.
White Belt Mafia with Danny Leyland.
Greg Anderson. Why do we always laugh at this part? You know?
It was a facial expression.
Greg Anderson and Endless Endeavor.
All right. Mike.
Did we hit them all?
I think we did. What was this episode about, though?
Did we get Patriot Islander?
Yeah, we said it.
Okay, just checking.
My People? Of
course.
course.
The Beetle Nuts?
I have to represent my people, of course.
I'll tell you what.
What was this episode? This episode was social media. We talked about. I felt this was kind of a good one. Of course,
a good one. Are you selling advertising space here? What the fuck are we doing?
Oh shit! By the way, the other sponsor we didn't talk about, Spyderco Knives.
Shut up.
Yes, Spyderco Knives. Come check out. They got amazing shit. Knives are great. Bic lighters. They're also awesome.
Nipex pliers.
Nipex pliers. Sorry, guys. Endless.
You had me for a minute.
No,
I was like, this would be awesome if Spyderco was sponsoring us.
I fucking wish. I would love to lay it on you like that.
I just saw Tobin throw out his knife. Personally, he's like, Benchmade. What the fuck is this? I got a sponsorship. Oh, wait, you're joking.
Yeah, my bad. My dog bad.
Yeah.
One day.
Okay. This episode, we talked about social medias. I'm devil's advocate. I think technology is helping us. You guys are assholes and think technology is fucking us. But there are many good arguments on both cases. It is something we're evolving with and growing with. So try and think a little bit more about it and how it plays in your life.
Mike's definitely enjoyed the show.
Yeah. Ultimately was like, I'm not going
to. Hang on. Do they have liver issues?
They get something called spotted liver, I think.
And that's poisonous to humans?
I don't know if it's poisonous, but I'm sure you'd be shitting your pants pretty bad. I don't know what the disease they can carry actually end up causing, but I always kind of like worry about that, you know, just the different things like
yard rabbits carry all kinds of shit.
They could, dude.
Little gnomes.
Yeah.
They carry.
Yeah. Well, I haven't cut my grass. Like this is the first time I've cut it this season.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I let it grow. It was pretty natural looking, you know what I mean? Like, look like some
a rabbit paradise.
Natural, he says, also known as trashy.
Yeah, well, whatever, dude. One man's oasis is another man's desert, I guess. Yeah, so I cut it, and the rabbits are loving
dog.
Are loving the trimming.
Clippings.
Yeah, they are just. I walked out the other day. There was like 5 of them in my yard. I was like, "What the fuck?" And I don't have a big yard.
It's apocalypse food.
Oh, that's why I didn't kill one as well. I was like, man.
Breeders.
Plus, I had
these are my breeders.
Yeah, exactly. I got a little farm going, but I had the chicken cooking over the fire, and so I'm sitting there, and but I have my gun because I was like, I'm going to shoot this.
Surrounded by rabbits.
I'm going to shoot
like Stevens.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I'm going to fucking cap one of these things.
Yeah.
And it didn't end up working out, but we'll see. I could have gotten one of those rabbits.
Why didn't you shoot it? You thought about liver disease?
No, I thought about, I had something cooking on the fire, so I was like, I'm not going to
add a rabbit to this.
I'm not going to add a rabbit and like go start taking care of it right now. And who knows how long it's going to take to cook. I was just like, I'm going to deal with this chicken, and you know, maybe this weekend I'll.
Do you have a garden this year?
Tap one of those rabbits. No, I don't.
If you have a garden, there's a vengeance.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll take a rabbit out just for you.
Yeah, in honor of Mike.
Yeah.
Just for Kozak. The last thing it hears.
No, man. Have you heard a rabbit scream?
Yeah.
It's like a baby just.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that predator call too that mimics it. Yeah. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, so you just got to put another round in them real quick.
I have cats, right? So all the time in the spring, this time, you go out and it's like, the cat's killing it. I don't want to stop it from being a cat, you know? But then one time I was mowing the lawn and I took my headphones off, you know, go change a bag off the mower, and I hear, and I go over, and my big
that
pit
cat's
bull,
fucking that rabbit.
No, my big pit bull found him, and he was still like a pup.
Oh, no.
And so he was like pawing him with his big pit bull hands and talons. And it took that rabbit skin, like its head still had fur on, but it just pulled it all down like a glove.
And it's still alive.
Just go.
Well, who was it that was talking? Was it you that was talking about shooting one? Or maybe it was my uncle.
A rabbit?
Shot a rabbit with a bow, and it like went through his shoulder and then stuck its leg out. So the bow like...
Did it pierce it to the ground?
Pinned it to the ground.
It pinned it, but it like stuck its leg in. So like the thing was all stretched out, and then it was just...
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, man.
It's better to just headshot him with a 10-22. Put him right down.
Exactly.
Put him right down, Mike.
Yep. Clean meat.
Have you seen me shoot a bow?
Yes, I have. You should consider it 10-22.
I'm the 10-22 of the archery one.
Yeah.
Ruger is the nickname, boys.
Yeah. All right. Well, we sat down to talk about social media tonight, I think. And I see that Kozak brought a notebook, which makes me curious. Is there something in there, or is that just to intimidate us?
This is for...
Is it just for intimidation?
You guys ready to podcast, boys?
Yeah, he thought we were taking pictures.
Yeah. No, I like the idea. This is what technology wants in a way.
It is, and I think this will lead right in.
Notepad?
I think next episode we'll do what technology wants. They'll tie in nicely.
Are you there?
I'm on page 200. I'm making a push.
Yeah,
it's a
Mike recommends.
It's a tough read.
It's a dense read, but it's interesting. It's so much mind fireworks.
Yeah.
You know,
it goes back and forth. It goes from some of the most boring shit I've ever read in my life to then it'll get interesting, and then it goes right back to boring.
All right, well, let's talk about that next week.
Yeah.
You got to prove it, though.
All right, social media. Hang on. All right, go ahead.
That's what what was it? Not the patriarchy. What was the matrix? The social matrix. The divine matrix.
Divine matrix. But at least that was an easy read.
Yeah.
This is not an easy read. This is a fucking
bullshit
slog.
Facts and
this is a slog and it's boring.
Welcome to my book
He can't
club.
wait to start talking shit. Oh, he's like,
There's parts of it I like. Yeah. There's been sections of it I liked, and then you get into the boring parts. And it's
like the cover.
Yeah, the cover was awesome.
Did you get to the Amish yet?
He's mentioned them multiple times.
But he hasn't divulged. Yeah. He lived with them for a while.
Okay. No, I'm not there then.
Interesting.
Okay, social media.
It's not in the book, though. I'm just inside.
Well, Jesus Christ.
Sorry. Continue, sir.
Go ahead.
Social media.
Yeah.
Does it rule us or do we rule it? The question.
Well, it's like such a double-edged sword. And like just right off the bat, it is... It's the only way I've been able to market my business, Training Northwest. So it's very valuable to me for that.
Yeah.
But I also growingly look at it as like this evil creation that more and more is controlling humanity. And I think I sort of had this, this is another woo-woo concept I've had, which is that time does not exist. You have the present is eternal. You have ideas, which would take the place of the future, and memories, which would take the place of the past. Because when does the future arrive?
No.
It's always present, right? And the past is always memories. But if you're constantly shaping your ideas of what your present should look like by other people's fake shit, and who knows how many of these accounts that you follow, like go to your Instagram and see how many accounts you're following, and then ask yourself, how many of these can I verify are real and are not made by some bot or it could be some dude in his basement who's just coming up with these, he's pasting shit offline or whatever, and it's especially the ones that have either marketing behind them or ideology behind them, whether it's religious or political. You have to start wondering what's real and what isn't. So, and what of these accounts are just pandering to you to keep you following, keep you scrolling, right? So I follow an account called Anti-State on Instagram where they post a bunch of, of course, where they post a bunch of shit about like government corruption, blah, 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 blah. And at some point I realized, I was like, maybe there's not even a person behind this. Maybe this might very well be a entrapment scheme, so that in the future, when they pass a law that says, which country is it? Is it Scotland? Just passed a hate speech law where anything you posted in the past you can be arrested for. Mm-hmm. So now imagine if the United States passes a law that says if you followed certain accounts in the past or liked their content or shared their content, you are now guilty of, inciting insurrection against the government, right? And so it could almost be like a form of entrapment, and you have no idea. Or it could be a dude who legitimately believes these things and is posting them online. You have no way of knowing. Yeah. But you're so many people more and more are just consumed by that scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and just it's idea it's what do you call it, like idea bias confirmation or bias confirmation,
insulated bubble you're living in.
It's your thought. You create your own little thought bubble. Or insulated.
You're looking at things that
they
interest so fast.
Confirmation bias, I think, is what I was trying to get to.
Yeah. Because I follow an account called Damn She Squats, and it really has messed with my algorithm. I'll say that.
Is this like the precursor to 2 chicks, 1 or 2 girls, 1 cup or something
maybe,
like that?
I don't know. No, I mean, yes, it's kind of crazy because you do look at your feed that comes across, and everything is designed to be instant gratification. You're seeing something, it's short, sweet, creates what's the chemical?
Dopamine.
Right, dopamine. You're getting a hit. You just keep scrolling through.
Keep
what
going.
I've noticed is when my screen time goes up, my ability to function without my phone is down. Diminished.
Yeah. You're out mowing your lawn. You're like, where's my phone? Is it inside?
Well, you get bored.
Who the fuck
all
cares?
of a sudden.
Yeah. Yes.
You get bored, and it's like, what the heck? And it's like, you just kind of like lose focus onto what you're doing, and it's like, oh fuck, like this is really having an effect on me. Like, and so I will full on say I have an addiction to the social media.
Yeah.
Like, and I try and keep it, like I'll delete it every once in a while, and I start feeling like better. But then I get back on there, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then I'll find myself just like, not like blacking out, but just like I'll be doing something, and I'll find, it's like you forget what you're like. Oh,
Time
fuck,
travel.
fuck. Yeah, you're
Time
gunning
travel.
to 88, right? Like, you're in the DeLorean, and you're just like hanging out right about 87, 88 right there.
Marty.
And it's like, whoa, okay, like I need to be doing this. And then all of a sudden you realize it, and it's like, or you just naturally grab your phone and like swipe up, and how the fuck is this Instagram on my phone right now?
Yeah.
I just picked it up, like, and it just like you start going into a natural rhythm of like,
open your phone, hit the 6-digit code, hit Instagram, and start scrolling.
but it's like immediate, right? So like you go to where Instagram is on your phone or whatever the social media is that you're using, and it's just up, and then all of a sudden you look down and it's like, oh fuck, like it's just subconscious, right? It's muscle memory. You're just not in the present moment. Right. And I think that the mind is being hijacked to a certain degree, right? And they're using it to massive benefits.
It's like it's just like the Disney, like mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. And that's what everybody's looking for. They're trying to show the best version of whatever they think they want. It's not even what their life is. It's what they want other people to think their life is. And then they're looking at fake versions of other people's lives and weighing their life against that. And it just breeds unhappiness. But what it does for like Meta is it just keeps you engaged. Exactly. You're plugged in and you're just constantly looking through that shit.
Well, there's another side of it too, that anytime you end up doing something outside of it, you think about what you're going to get from it. So you're like, oh, I need to take a picture of this to provide some sort of a dopamine hit for looking at how many likes I get, or fucking, whatever the engagement is online, as opposed to like enjoying the moment with the people around you. And the fact that a generation will never know what it was like to not have that. And I think we have the biggest, we are saying, whoa, because we saw the other side. The last generation.
My kids don't understand what it's like to not have a fucking cell phone and a camera in your pocket.
So to have that as a baseline of most of life, I didn't have a cell phone, taking pictures and posting it online, to now that is the norm, and how fast I have become addicted to going Instagram, scroll. Like I'll fall asleep. Like I'll go to take a nap and I'll like get on there and I'll like start looking at like boat stuff or like hunting or dog stuff, and like all of a sudden titties.
He's like, I was just gonna say he's bullshitting us.
Whatever it is that's educational that I follow is putting me to sleep.
See, those are a B cup.
Yeah, no, they're definitely. I could tell you. I could tell you. No, but that's the thing, is like, and that's the other thing about that is, you will naturally all of a sudden you look at one or two things, or you click on the wrong thing, and your algorithm is now leading you to these things. So if you have a problem with like,
well, even I won't say her name, one of our female friends showed me her Instagram feed, and as soon as she clicked, well, no, as soon as she clicked on the search thing, it was the same thing I see, where it was like a bunch of bikini models and whatnot. So women are actually being showed the bikini models as well, because they are not attracted visually to men the way we are visually attracted to women, but they are constantly judging themselves against other women.
Yeah.
So they get a lot of the same sort of
gratification.
It'd be a fun
not gratification, but they get the same.
gives
They
you
get
dopamine
fed
burst.
the same feed.
Pull up your Instagram. Let me take a little
Yeah, but all
peek at
girls
that.
love girls.
This is going to be a fun little experiment. I wonder what the first thing that pops up on your search thing is.
I can tell you right now, it's going to be guns and boobs, because I advertise my business and I'm a male.
I know.
Oh, hang on. Here's Ernie. He says this Monday is brought to you by the word fuck and the letter U.
Bert and Ernie?
Yeah, that Ernie.
Nice.
There's actually not a single bikini on here.
Okay.
Oh, not great.
Technically, Bert and Ernie are gay, so.
Yeah, they are.
Checks out.
God damn
We
it.
saw your algorithm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This was actually interesting.
Yep.
And it's both. And what you're saying, Jordan, about that, when you're out doing things and realizing that this is a photo opportunity, it's a double-edged sword, because I have the business. So like when we're out hunting or whatever, and I'm like, oh, fuck, this has application to what I teach.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, I should get my phone out, get a picture. But at the same time, I'm that guy who thinks it's obnoxious to have everybody stop what they're doing, get their fucking phone. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's obnoxious. She's on my feed, not yours, dude.
But that brings in that duality of it, which is that it's amazing for marketing. Like, how would I get Training Northwest advertised in a world without social media?
Big ass billboard.
Yeah. You'd be dropping off flyers at
But that's
gun shops, maybe,
representation,
or
though.
yeah.
It is a
Don't even start.
No, I'm letting you
Oh,
guys
no.
blow
Oh,
your
no.
load over
We're not
here.
voting with fucking Instagram there, Mike Zay dickhead.
Don't worry. Instagram already voted.
you are though. Because they
Yeah, we voted for boobs apparently.
yeah.
Well, yeah. But that's a human instinct to breed.
Yeah.
Yes, boobs
The
will
strongest
be
instinct, yeah.
the most published thing on feeds. But to me, it's like, okay, what is social media? To me, like the first forms of it were like MySpace.
Hang on, no. Goes one deeper. Do you know what LifeLog is?
No.
So LifeLog was created by DARPA, which is the
Facebook thingy.
yes.
Yeah,
So,
but how many people
hang on,
do you know
let me
that were
finish.
ever on LifeLog?
No, it was never public.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
LifeLog was created by DARPA, which is the company or the agency that creates all of the research and development tech for the military. The day after DARPA shut down LifeLog, what was launched?
Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that a coincidence?
I don't know, maybe. But it's also
Sure convenient.
But yes.
And Facebook and Meta have grown into probably the most influential single entity on the planet.
That is true, but the first one really out there to take off
Was MySpace.
MySpace.
Yes.
And what I think of when I think of social media, I think of is
Is MySpace still on the web?
Who knows? Who cares? We're way past MySpace. But MySpace was you could put pictures of your friends. You could have music that played.
You remember the surveys?
You were representing yourself. It was like a billboard or the chalk
Yeah, it's
walls.
like, this is Mike Kozak.
Yes.
Come visit my page. You're going to listen to a Blink 182 song. And
Yeah, exactly.
Look at that photograph.
That is not Blink 182.
Who is it?
yeah.
What's isn't
What's that name again?
Chad Scott Creed.
Every time I do
Creed?
it makes me
No. Who's the one they always make? Nickelback.
Nickelback.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
So
yeah. That was
Nickelback,
definitely
you
your
know
page.
what? Fuck that. Nickelback gets a bad rap. I was always a fan.
That's some all right songs.
I've never listened.
They
Come
had
at me.
phenomenal songs, and people got all up in like. Look, they sold so many records. So many people who have their records are talking shit because they don't want to feel like
look at that photograph.
Oh,
there we go.
Man, look at those.
I know his go-to on karaoke night.
Exactly. I guess.
You know what's on my MySpace page.
Yeah. But that's representing you. That's instant representation.
Oh.
And
we might have to edit that out. We might get.
Yeah, we'll blank
That was so that because that was good.
we'll just
That was so good, dude.
that was like
we get copyright.
Was that Korean barbecue karaoke worthy?
Dude, Nickelback sues us. They're like, hey, who's the front guy?
Who's this fucking guy? Oh.
No. It is instant representation. You are telling the world who you are and what your
But you can
opinions
fake
are.
it. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
you can do all kinds of things like fake it,
It's
but
not
I'm
instant
saying, hang on.
representation. It's instant bullshit.
But
I would
at the
love to look
start
at
of
your
it,
fucking old MySpace and
God.
whatever affliction T-shirt you were wearing at the time.
Ed Hardy.
no, never an affliction guy. Never
Probably a picture of himself on the front of a T-shirt.
Oh yeah, just fucking flexing.
a young Mike Kozak.
Yeah, holding a trophy and some chick in a bikini in the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, that's on there.
Oh, 100%, dude. 100%.
That's on there.
Yeah.
The coaches were in there too, though.
Yeah, on the sides, way off. Yeah, a little blurry.
But that's representing who you are. But that's the first time in the history of the world that people have been on any side of the globe when you have the internet and people know who you are and what you are. Like I say, communication is one of the
People
biggest
know
things.
what you want to be.
Or just
They don't
your
know who
viewpoints.
you are because
they don't know who you are. But if
who
you could vote,
fantasize yourself to be.
Yes,
but
because
if you can say a statement, today I had this, today someone cut me off, and I think people that cut me off are jerks. You're seeing the way that person reacts and who they are and kind of their decision making. Someone in China and someone in America to be able to communicate in that way, not saying China was on MySpace, maybe they were, who knows? But I'm just saying that's a game changer for humanity in the world. And so I think when you say social media, yes, there are things I love about social media like that.
100%.
And then there's things I hate about social media in that it's certain things are like Twitter is mainly text, and I mean there's links to pictures and movies and shit like that, but Instagram's only picture based, and social media has evolved from what it was, but it's still a conduit for everyone to have a voice in this ether, this world, right?
Well, it gives us. I mean, just look at this podcast goes out and
yes,
like people. It's one way social media, right? But like through Instagram, we've interacted with people from like Minnesota to Arizona to Hawaii, right? Like we like, and there's a little. It's crazy to think that is something that like now you're creating a little bit of a network where it's like, oh, I know somebody here, I know somebody there, and like you can. It's fun to think you're making like-minded things, but it feels more real with that.
No,
because
that's perfect. Like, think about like that guy in Minnesota, or like remember when we did the stats download, and it's like we have one listener in Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
or
yeah.
somewhere. But I'm sure that's like
a VPN. Or whatever.
yeah. But just
Who
say
knows?
you
Maybe
have
we
a
do.
listener somewhere, and it's like the government
Somebody
is telling
accidentally
you,
thought it
or
was
the
a
like
Neanderthal
the media
thing.
around you, your radio shows, your TV shows, your shit like this, which the people around you that have money, they influence and they push. This is media. But for the first time in the world, like you have the ability to talk way far away, and you don't
across
take
the
the
world.
influences. And so not only like, so then you go to like the Instagram a little bit, and it's like, yes, you can promote things which you think are truths. I feel social media, as many negatives are that there are, it's something that allows so much communication.
Social media is creating a bedrock for like the river that is almost like dividing classes in a way, like where social media is showing like us that there are these guys over here, if they are not, because oftentimes, and I'm just going to be honest with you, because this is what sometimes I'm thinking is like, is this a bot, is this real, or is this some agent creating an account to interact and monitor.
Yeah.
So I am very with my own personal account. I have it the private thing, and obviously like the people who can see it. Who I don't want to see it, they're still going to be able to, right? Like the people who can control, like
hack in,
or what, or they just are running the shit, right? But then the people who I accept as friends, it's like I have to have known you. I have to have been in a face-to-face contact or know people that have talked about you or,
right.
And otherwise it's like, it is crazy the amount of constant requests you get from these people, and like the amount of people that just click, click, and it's like, who the fuck are these? What is this? Like, how's that affect all of? I don't know the algorithms and all the coding and all that.
But that's all right because it's your account, and so you have control of it. What I was going to say, counter to your point of connecting us across the world, is that I'm heavily censored, so I'm not connected across the world, and I'm not able to use social media to the full extent that I would like to, because Meta has shut Training Northwest way, like they've intentionally throttled it way down, and it's not a conspiracy. I have like the notifications from them in email and in like screenshots of direct messages where they say, "Hey, your content violates our guidelines," which at the same time, there's all these pictures of like OnlyFans girls or videos of OnlyFans girls.
There's nudity.
Yeah, exactly. There's straight up nudity on, or they're getting fucked, but they're not showing anything below the waist. They're just showing themselves bouncing on the bed or whatever. And it's like, that's fine. But us,
this guy's out. Yeah, what? Never have I ever
fucked up, dude.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, but that's the people controlling it. The fact that
so really it's not a tool for connection, because
it's a tool for connection.
There's a very small group of people that control that connection.
Well, but what is Elon doing? You're breaking that connection. Having that ability is a good thing. When that ability is restricted and throttled and manipulated, that's where the problem comes from.
Yeah.
And not only what you can and can't see, but like they always say, the algorithm, things that like it becomes addictive. Like you were saying earlier that like you'll black out and this thing becomes the enemy. But look at the China effect. Like, this is all just tools, and we're using it in different ways. But like the China thing of TikTok, where it's science videos and tech, and it's promoting physical fitness and growth of an individual and making stronger people. If that was the only thing coming across, we're just jaded on it because the way it's being presented to us.
Because it's crumbling our society by showing us smut and fucking bullshit, while other societies are being shown mathematics and physical fitness.
I think we can, if you use it for that, if that is how you want to create your stuff, I think you could probably figure out a way to like censor a little bit of it, but like really follow all those pages and make that the pages that are mathematic pages, the pages that are
bots,
reading, writing, arithmetic pages, right? And there are those things like, and I try and follow as many of those as I can, just to try and skew,
just so you can pretend that you can tell yourself you're being all right while you're feeding that addiction.
No, I'm trying to skew the fucking thing, right? So it's but it doesn't.
It doesn't because someone's overriding that.
Yeah, but my wife's Danielle's thing, like I see her on Instagram and she hits search and it's like fish tanks, horses, chick stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's not, dude, where's the intake on that hood? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no polished, sweet Camaro and a chick on a bikini.
Yeah.
But that's what it does. When it's so addictive that it pulls the men into their primal and the women into their primal, they're nesting, they're nurturing their animals, they're homing. That's where it's like, well, this can be used divisively. And maybe it's not even that. You should just recognize that there's things that appear to men and women to be more engaging.
Yeah.
I think it's not a bad thing.
Social media in general, or the feed?
What it is now is something like I said, it's
So
not.
I've even noticed
MySpace.
So I got on Twitter after Elon bought it just to kind of see, and I'll look at it I'll look at it at work when I'm bored. But what I've noticed increasingly is that it does not.
Wait, don't you only have to buy to be verified?
I don't fucking know. It's free. I'm not.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't pay
free.
for it.
I thought you
he
said
said he
you
got
bought
on.
Oh,
No,
I
he
thought
got
you
on.
said you bought on.
Oh no, it got on.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Increasingly, it shows me accounts that would get me riled up. Like it doesn't show me. It shows me like Patty Murray and Jay Inslee, and look at what the Washington Democrats are doing now, and look at what's happening. You know what I mean? It's never like, oh hey, here's something you like. It's here's something you don't like.
Positive.
Here's something that's going to cause your blood pressure to jump a little bit.
Mine does that
So
as well.
they figured out.
Yeah.
They figured out, and that is probably what keeps people coming back because they're like, God damn it, what the fuck is this? So they're like, I'm going to read this and get some details. And like, fuck, God damn it, I'm going to send this to my friends. You see this fucking bullshit that's happening?
Fuck Janesley. Look at those titties.
Yeah,
But that's also why Facebook fell. Like Facebook rose as like a college and party thing. As soon as like your parents started getting on it, when it was
so
my
they
age,
just age out with every generation.
no, but as soon as my parents got on, then things like Vine pop up and video things and newer things. And no, I'm not on. I haven't been on Facebook in
years,
fucking a decade probably. But it's because it was fun when it first happened. But something's always going to be new and replace what it is. Meta's trying to. Why do you think they buy everything up? If they didn't, Instagram would probably be crushing it.
It's already.
But that changes culture and how people react to you. You don't have the platform to write a shit ton of. Well, I guess you do, but you don't do it. You don't read things the way on Instagram you do on Facebook.
What are the big fish as far as social medias go? I mean, it's
TikTok,
I think it's
Twitter,
Twitter,
Facebook,
Facebook,
Instagram.
Instagram.
I would think so.
Those are like the four horsemen.
Yeah.
As opposed to like there. I mean, there's all manners of it. Like right, like there's Snapchat, but that's more.
Does YouTube count, or is YouTube's kind of different?
I think YouTube
more
is a
of
one way
broadcast. Yeah, it's
But there's the comment
can leave
section.
comments.
YouTube, I feel like, is a little bit more like
Maybe it
listening
is.
to a podcast, right? Like you're taking somebody's content and you're observing it.
Absorbing
But that's the fucking thing, though. Get on the Instagram app, and you'll fucking start scrolling. They put you into a thing. I don't know what it's called, but all of a sudden I'll get on and I'm on a feed and I fucking start scrolling through it and it's like, motherfucker, like I was trying to watch a thing like how to build out a John boat for duck hunting or like different John boats versus, V-bottom boats. So, whatever the hell it is for what I'm planning on looking at.
I'm 30 minutes deep on titties.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Well, you end up like jujitsu. Like all of a sudden, jujitsu pops up on there.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more like for me. It's a little bit more of that kind of shit. But then you'll start going through, and it's like jujitsu, and the hunting, jujitsu, titties, hunting, jujitsu, titties. I'm not saying I'm complaining. All I'm saying is that it ends up happening, and it sucks your time.
Sucks you in. And then you realize it's been 40 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm trying to drywall this freaking house.
Do you monitor your screen time?
Dude, it is. I am addicted. I am truly addicted to this phone.
You got set boundaries, baby.
And my boundary is
you
not
are
set.
What technology wants.
Yeah, they want. We all are what technology wants, right? Like at the end of the day, because that's what we're getting plugged. Oh, you son of a bitch! We're getting plugged into this shit, and it ends up being.
It's already plugged in. People have pacemakers. You feel upset when you leave your cell phone. Machines have.
I feel a relief.
Of what?
I feel a relief when I fucking leave my cell phone, dude. when there's out of service, I'm like, don't get me wrong. I think about it, and I'm like,
out of service is different than you not having it in your proximity.
Yeah, but I can take my phone. And we're talking about me, where you guys have gotten on. Tobin's always up my ass about, he's scrolling. Like, yeah, I am. Sorry. I got fucking sidetracked trying to look up a fact, and now I'm looking at titties and
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu and titties.
Yeah.
But when it comes to
that should be a bumper sticker.
Our first shirt
should be a t-shirt.
That should be a t-shirt.
We should do t-shirts. Do you think we have
Hang
enough? I can.
Oh,
get
we
you that
have
file
enough.
art. If you guys really want,
I keep telling you guys, I have fucking 2 jobs. And if you guys want to make some of this shit happen, somebody.
Tobin's like, you guys need to step up.
Yeah,
Hey,
somebody
I got
make this
2
shit
jobs
happen.
too. No one's.
Oh, you're right, Jordan.
But I'm
remodeling a
involved in
house,
this one.
and I have a job. Right,
Street of Dreams.
You guys just stand by on those T-shirts, huh?
yeah. But I think we could sell a
Jiu-Jitsu and titties would be a great T-shirt.
It'd
That's
be
a good
fun.
one.
It'd be fun to have.
I think Snake's in danger too.
Oh,
I
hell
didn't
yeah.
even realize what I was saying. And I listened back to that, and
This is amazing. That might be my one favorite line of the year plus that we've been doing this.
yeah, 100%.
Pellaloo, hard body boys,
Hard bodies, young men.
Some of the things we said
A
on,
couple
I've
things.
laughed
You're gay.
so hard.
You are
Yes.
you are fucking gay.
One shot away.
That's why I haven't told my dad about this.
Why do you think he's not on the internet?
Yeah. But so I forgot where I was going, but there is an addiction here, and when we get into a point of going hunting and we don't have service, it's kind of nice. When we do have service, I'll like look down and it's like, how is Instagram stealing my time in the woods?
Jordan, you ever take a book when you go hunting?
No,
That's a good idea.
It is a magazine, a book, just to read through articles in those downtimes, and you are so quiet.
You're a wild boy, dude.
No, it's the best.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
You want to take a book hunting?
Yeah. You're already sleeping.
You're crazy,
it makes
dude.
you
No, so they'll take out of his.
You might
nap
fall
time.
asleep quick.
I'll fall asleep right quick.
right in front of an
yeah.
elk.
I saw some letters passed out.
The technium.
Oh man.
What I have noticed more and more is that as I have recognized, I guess, sort of I don't have an addiction, or maybe I did at one time, but I recognized it and it grossed me out. So now I'll find myself, I'll be bored. I'll reach for my phone. I'll open up the phone. I'll hit the Instagram icon, and immediately I'll go, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Yeah, and then he types in Pornhub and just
Yeah. It's like
Gets rid of
let's
it.
just get straight to the business here. But no, I'll open Instagram and immediately I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing? What this is all? It's just scroll,
Yeah.
like flick your thumb, flick your thumb, flick your thumb. It's like, no, close it out.
Yep.
Close it out again.
Leave.
I've got to the point, and now I'm almost. I don't think about it anymore. I don't want to be a part of it. I actually want to hire. Again,
Somebody to take care
same
of
friend. Yeah, I want to hire her to
Social
take care of
media
all my
person.
social media so I can turn over the passwords to her, not even fucking think about it.
and so she can look at the titties.
Yeah, exactly. She can my feet will turn into fucking banana hammocks and ballerina. I don't know.
Turn into sure. He still didn't show us. He still didn't show us.
Bunch of European bikinis. Over
Yeah,
there.
dude, this guy.
Yeah.
Gross.
But it's gotten like repulsive to me because now I'm starting to see it for what it is.
It steals your time.
grosses
Yeah,
the
but
most
that's what it.
But here's
you're
the
going
problem.
too
The
deep.
problem is
It
now
should be a
is that
circle.
this friend has shown me. She's like, hey, I've cracked the code. I understand how to turn viewers into customers, and she can explain it in very
strategic ways.
strategic detail, and it's not bullshit because she'll show you on her own account.
Yeah.
She'll be like, you do this, then you do this. She'll go, look, I got 5 million views on this video. Those 5 million views turn into 3,000 likes. Those 3,000 likes turn into 1,000 comments, and I turn those 1,000 comments into 300 email addresses that I email a business lead to.
No.
And that's fucking genius, right?
So you're saying 30% of the time you can get a number.
But hang on, I'm gonna say this.
It's like picking up.
It
girls
doesn't
in
matter
the-
what
in
the
bar.
fucking number is. It's amazing. None of that would be able to happen and create commerce and jobs and opportunity, make America better, great again, better again. That's Mike's.
Yeah.
Make America better. We ran into a pothole. Sorry. Making America better again. But that wouldn't be possible without having that instant communication, that internet, that flow. It's just who is controlling it and how is it being used. I think of freedom like all the time. Like it's important to have the ability to say what you want to say, express yourself. I think freedom as a person, as a human, as an American, like the actions you take and the thoughts that you think, when you express them upon the world, it reacts to you. But you should have the ability to do all of that unless you're harming someone else. So in that same mentality, I feel like what we're dealing with
Hold on, say
right
that
now.
again. Say that again.
He's speaking cursive.
Yeah, say what you just said again.
I can't go back in time. I'm Mike Kozak, dude.
Okay.
That was cursive. You ever tried to trace that shit backwards?
This is from the soul, not
what,
from
what,
the
what,
head.
what you're talking about is correct.
Yeah.
But what you're not taking
Freedom.
into
Sorry.
account,
Okay.
what you're
You
not
pulled
taking
me
into
out of
account
it. I'm back.
is the fact that is being taken away from the people using it.
Yes. No. So
And-
my point is about that is that what life should be based off of is these freedoms. But as these technologies in these marketplaces grow, what is happening is we're sovereign people, but we're being put our lives in the area we occupy the space. These are becoming safe spaces where you don't have the ability of that freedom, where things turn into hate speech and negative speech and things like this, where you're hurting someone else and they restrict it. That is the real problem, is someone else
No.
taking your
I
in a
disagree.
world where these places are.
The-
That's what is shadow banning? That's someone where you're like, I'm living in this space of Instagram, and they're like, this goes against our guidelines. And
The
we
real problem
restrict
is the
your
fact that you're
speech.
living in a place of Instagram.
No,
That's the problem.
Fine.
No, it's not.
How are
It's
you
not.
going to go to the moon?
Fuck the moon. Live you get
They didn't
you
go.
get, dude, you get 80 years if
I
you're
mean,
fucking
Mars.
lucky. You get 80 years if you're lucky. If you're spending some people, which I have gotten a
don't think
notification of
people-
screen time.
You don't think
And when that
average lifespan-
when that screen time hits 5 hours a day,
oh my god,
Oh shit!
you're
like
the
that
bad guy.
that's a fucking problem.
yeah.
And that is my life being stolen from me. And that is
No. It's not being stolen from you. You're giving it away.
It is being taken.
No, you're giving it.
Of course.
You
Right?
are-
Yeah.
yeah.
But it is
No,
an
that's you.
addiction.
Yes.
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 It's that's you, but that's not.
But I understand that. But I also know that there are kids, and this is a new thing. This is
Yeah.
like,
It
you know
should
what?
be taught.
Fentanyl.
Yes.
is
No,
not,
there are kids
is
who
not
are-
the
yeah,
guy
yeah.
doing
Yeah.
fentanyl's fault.
and it should be
The hobo
taught.
on the street is not his addiction is not his fault,
Correct.
Yeah.
right? And that's what you're.
But
Yeah.
it
It
should
is
be.
his fault.
it is and
He's
it
making
isn't.
the fucking decision.
He's making
the
it.
problem, even though the fucking pharmaceutical companies
No.
doing
Right,
all
pushed
these
it.
things to get
You
it to
can
him.
be
but
easily
it's his fault.
But
So-
you can be
but there's-
easily entrapped.
What I'm saying is there is a fucking point where, at some point, they are trying to do this to
Yes.
you.
Oh,
they
100%.
want you.
Yes.
They want your time. They want your energy, and they're trying to take it from you. And that is the fucking problem, right? They're making money off of your time.
here's-
And I understand that I'm giving that time to whatever
Turn to page
account or the screen, right? But at some point, that ends up being when are we gonna have like a bound? Like, you have to do it yourself. I get it.
Yeah.
But somebody gets hurt, they start taking drugs, or their doctor gives them drugs, and then is the doctor ever going to be liable?
No.
Is the
No.
government ever going to be
But here-
liable?
hang
Is
on.
the pharmaceutical company ever going to be liable?
This is an easier one to break, and it's just recognizing the pattern in yourself, recognizing the pattern in the program in yourself. That is, you go, I'm bored. Reach for my phone, open it up, hit that
you're-
hit
What-
Instagram
what we were
button.
just
But you have
what
good
we were
parents.
just talking about. What we were just talking about before we got here, about how lucky we are to have the things in our life that allow us to plug into. We have jujitsu, we have each other, we have all these different things. We have hunting. We do these things with each
Did
other.
he look at us when he said each other?
Yeah, I did. We have these things that pull us out of the phone, and we all said it in the very beginning. How fun is this whole podcast going to be when we sit down and talk to each other and get to have this conversation for 2 hours whenever we go and do this? Like, once a week, we get to sit down and actually have a conversation with each other. Most people don't necessarily get that. So now you take somebody who doesn't get that, somebody who doesn't have jujitsu, somebody who doesn't go into the woods and goes hunting, and then all of a sudden,
here's this.
There's this thing that they pull out of their pocket.
Is this thing they pull out of their pocket what is keeping them from going out into the world and finding their people?
It can be, yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure, because it will.
You'll
start looking at it
to add me and Mike's like spiritual woo woo divine matrix shit into this.
Pulled me into this,
and this is more Mike's idea than mine.
Give me all the credit. Yes, right here.
No, he called me on the phone to talk to me about this last night. Whatever you give your attention to, you give your energy to.
Yes.
So if you are giving your attention to your Instagram account, you are feeding. On the cosmic, like spiritual level, forget about fucking money and advertising. You are putting energy into that entity, which is this growing thing that is Instagram or Meta or fucking whatever.
I'm making it bigger with every minute I look at it.
And once you start to the reality, or at least the key for me was to start to realize that, and then it grosses me out, and I go fuck. Even though it's the only way I get my Training Northwest out. And I'm doing it less and less, and maybe my business is suffering because of it. It's kind of like I don't know that I care. Because
but work should suck. You never like work. That's your job.
And I guess if people get on there and here's the other thing. Understand that if you're on Instagram and you're not advertising something, you're the mark.
You are advertising.
You are the mark. You are the product. Well, and people like me who I am on there advertising my company. But to someone
using it as a tool,
exactly. But to someone who is not advertising something, then you're the mark. If you're not advertising something on Instagram, you're the product, right?
Well, no, you are the consumer.
It's okay. It's okay if you're looking for something. If you're there for a purpose, like, hey, I need to find the longest running training program in Granite Falls, Washington, right, Jordan?
Yeah, Training Northwest.
Officially,
LLC.
.com. If you're looking for a product, Instagram's a great place to find a product. But if you're just scrolling through because you're bored, Instagram's a great place to feel unsatisfied with your life, because you're going to see a bunch of fake shit of 25-year-old girls who are out taking pictures of themselves on some fucking lake. They're not even enjoying the experience of being out in the mountains. They're just out there to get a fucking picture so they can pretend that they live an outdoorsy life.
I don't know. When you have millions of dollars...
Who has millions of dollars that's out doing that shit? Because if you have millions of dollars, you don't need to be out on Instagram taking fucking selfies.
Yeah, somebody else is taking pictures for you.
No, but if that's your job, maybe
those girls don't have millions of dollars. Maybe one or two of them do.
Many people
here's the other thing. Here's another sad
get
thing.
Out of here. That
is all those people, all those girls who are making their money being quote unquote influencers because they're 25 and they're hot. Someday they're going to be 38 and they're going to be uninteresting and they're going to have no fucking skill in life.
Yep. Yeah,
I think then about what that the fuck are they
too
do?
often?
Yeah. Then what is their plan?
We know where that plan leads. Come on, gentlemen.
Kozak's house.
Yeah. Hang on, let me ask my wife real quick.
Danielle,
come in.
We can save her.
Hang on. Can I say something in regards to what you're saying about like technology being very addictive as well as social media? I've
changed your mind. No, you cannot. All right. So no, go.
Don't talk to me like that when I'm journaling. So Mike's been writing some things down. But just my very last one, just was kind of playing with this.
Did I skip to the end?
I'm skipping to the end, but this hits so hard with it. War on drugs sucks. Like, let's put it out there. Right?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Keep going. I can't.
Just say no. Like the Just Say No campaign.
Yeah.
How do you tell? And when that came out in like the late 70s, early 80s, when the crack epidemic was blowing through black communities, the poorest of communities, white people, everyone.
Especially when the government was funding it.
Yeah, the CIA was running it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that's what
they're doing right now.
Exactly.
By the way.
So here, war on drugs sucks. Just say no when you're addicted. How does a campaign like when you're physically fucking addicted and you have a problem, how does the government really help you? These people get off of
Okay,
drugs
the government
and
does not help you.
rebuild society,
Period.
right?
Period.
But in that same
government does not help you. Everybody needs to get off of that. That idea needs to be erased from the public record.
That idea needs to be enforced. The government is here for the betterment of the people. So
Should be.
things
In
like
theory.
addiction need to be some of the hardest hit things. And so in that same mentality of the war on drugs suck, technology. I like these books. I like tech books because it talks a lot about tech people and their lives and who they are and their family and their children. And a huge thing about Bezos, Gates, think whatever you want about these people. They limit their children and they monitor their tech.
Limit them heavily.
Yes.
Have you guys watched The Social Dilemma?
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody listening, if you have not watched a documentary called The Social Dilemma, you should.
We are getting into a point where I hear what you're saying as far as like, because like I said, my screen time has hit as high as 5 hours. It's like your average screen time is 5 hours last week.
And there's no PSA on the side. There's domestic violence. Don't drink and drive. Buckle up. Click it or ticket. Don't hit your wife when you've
crazy.
had the Jack Daniels.
It's
but
crazy.
there's no, if you're over 3 hours today, get the fuck off your phone. That's the same thing on the war on drugs.
Should be 1 hour.
There
It
are
should be-
these
it should be way
policies
less
saying
than that.
what is good and what is not good, but there's no enforcement. That's where the failure happens. That's the Jocko. That's the bad leadership. Tech is a fine thing. It's the same thing, like I was saying, in the platform.
It's personal responsibility.
But
yes,
the people that control it, just the
So
way
what
you're
I'm
getting
saying is-
throttled, though. You can't affect personal responsibility with that. But what you can do is allow freedom and allow people to give poor decisions and fall into those holes.
So
but then have the platform to lift those people.
Well,
that's where the government really needs to step in.
But I disagree.
But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work.
The censorship is coming from the government. That's been proven with the Twitter files.
So
exactly. That's where we're running into the. But that's
so it's the government that is censoring me.
Yes, agreed.
It is an addictive thing that is creating a mind-numbing. What's the dopamine hit, right? That is being controlled by the government to put me in a box, to allow me to sit on a couch and just say, fucking do this.
Yeah.
Go to work, do your thing, come home, just sit there and fucking get up the next day and go.
I'll take it to spiritual woo-woo again, which is that when you're sitting there scrolling like that, you're not doing anything creative.
No,
you are the antithesis of creation.
You are spending the money you just made. You are the mark, like you said. Yep. You were put in a position to exist and not create. You're creating a status quo. You are doing what Tyler liked to call is you're creating a.
You're not creating shit.
No, you are
creating
doing the opposite. Energy.
No. You're giving away your energy.
That's what I'm saying. You are creating the energy for.
You're not creating.
You do create the energy because
you stored up some energy.
Okay, whatever. Either way you want to fucking call it. If you're allowed to give something to something,
that was awesome to watch.
It is. Either way you go. If I am giving something to you that you didn't have before, I created that to give to you. Whether it be my energy or whatever.
Sure.
So you are taking something from me.
Yeah.
Right. And that is what is happening. Right. So whether it's your time, which is the most fucking valuable thing we have.
Yes.
And the fact that it is being given so rapidly by so many people. And this is somebody who I catch my fucking self. Don't get me twisted.
Yeah.
Like there's times where I look and it's like, holy shit. Like what the fuck did I just do? And like I said, I delete my fucking accounts. I just turn them off my phone, and then I'm fucking good to go. And now I do my thing, and I go about my day.
It's a cleansing process.
But you have to be willing to do that, and you have to know that. But when I look at kids today, and they don't do that, or maybe they do. Maybe there's classes.
They don't.
Maybe they talk about it.
My kids are stuck on YouTube, and they won't. It's a fight to get them off.
Well,
and they won't even finish a whole 3-minute video. They just keep clicking for the next
click.
dopamine hit. And like from from Mike's point of view, like cosmically and spiritually, when you're scrolling through that Instagram feed, you're not doing anything creative. And in order for human beings to feel satisfied and fulfilled, you have to create. So think about last night, right? You took that, you lit a fire, you made a little thing out of some old scrap, like fucking chicken wire, and you were cooking a chicken over an open fire. How good did that feel?
Yeah, I mean,
because you were being creative, as opposed to shutting down your creation. God made man in his image, right? We are all creators. We are at our happiest, at our most fulfilled when we are creating something.
I agree. Hang on. Physical creation, agreed. Because much
even mental creation, sitting around like reading a book causes mental creation. You're going to sit there, you're going to have new ideas. You might stop reading, you might close your eyes and kind of think about this for 5 minutes.
Give you
that's the problem. Yes, thank you.
It can.
And that's the problem.
If you then turn it off and explore that idea.
Yeah, but
if you keep it on, then it's not creation. It's somebody else putting their feed into your consciousness.
You got rifleman camp coming up.
Right.
And there's people that want to have the right weight, the right load. What do I need to get through a couple days? There's guys, I've done it, where you're watching the videos and you're right. Oh, that was a good point. That was a good point.
But that's what people fucking pay for, is the experience to take this and they go out. And then all of a sudden, like, this is the beautiful thing about rifleman camp or any of the camps, whether it be
but that video got them more prepared for that experience.
Right, but they'll reject parts of it too.
Well,
they'll make it their own. They'll accept parts of it and they'll reject. People who come to my classes, they're going to accept some of what I teach them and they're going to reject some of it.
Yeah,
they're going to they're going to make that lesson. They're going to take from it what they want and make it their own, and they're going to reject what they don't want. And in the end,
unless they don't have the tools to fucking know what is this and what is that, and that's the problem. And that's where, with the social media stuff, people have not been given the tools at which to say, hey, this is this, and it is addictive, or this is this, and it will do this. Nobody knows that yet.
Yeah.
When was the last, like, kids aren't being taught in school, like, hey, by the way, get off your phone, because, I mean, maybe they are.
That's where I go back.
They're being plugged into computers at school. They don't do books anymore. They have a fucking laptop.
Yeah,
and the teachers, the best I can tell from my son's middle school is that the teachers walk them through opening their laptop, logging in, watching a video. Well, I guess the teacher just sits and fucking does nothing. And then they sit there, watch a video on their laptop, and then they do their assignment on their laptop, and then they take their test on their laptop. And apparently being a fucking teacher at public school is the easiest job ever, because the laptop does everything
the school shootings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. You might as well just staff the school with some fucking police officers or armed security guards.
Come out.
Train Northwest, nailed it, Jordan.
I this is obviously like kind of a hot button, like.
No, it's good. It creates questions.
Yeah, it creates questions, but like it is I know it affects all of us so greatly.
Everyone,
regardless of what people fucking think, and they say like, "Oh, I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, or I'm not doing this, or I'm," It's like, guess what? Everybody's our lives are revolving around social media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
regardless of what you fucking think. Like that is. There are some people like the
number of times we used to have to stop family events to take a picture, and it was like
one of the coolest things.
Do we have to take a photo right now? Yes, we do, because we got to post it.
There was a guy, he hit us up and he says, I like listening to your guys' stuff. And it was funny because he sent us a message through his son's Instagram, because he's like, I don't have any of this social media bullshit kind of thing. And it was like, that's fucking rad.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate that, but it's kind of like you need to know the fucking enemy you have. If he doesn't. If people are like okay with not doing it, that's fine. But there's a certain level of like, if you're going to teach your kids how to combat this shit, you kind of need to go through it a little bit. But at the same time, maybe it's as simple as don't fucking do it.
It's also important to set an example. Like, hey, my dad's not on fucking social media.
Oh, my dad isn't, but I'm not my dad's. You know what I mean? Like
Can we take a pee break? You're hitting something. I want to go old people. social media and the gap in kind of
The gender pay gap.
Obamacare.
Yep.
Bidenomics.
People. Yes, Jordan.
I think that there are certain places that create a type of, not necessarily create a type of person, but draw a certain type of person into that area. And where all of a sudden you look around and all the neighbors have gardens, or all the neighbors are doing something, or they're all kind of a little bit more go-getters, as opposed to like in like relatively urban, suburban areas where it's like super dense, like people kind of do their own shit and like it's not random. But when you get more out into the country or like Woodinville, Duval Road, you're going to see more people doing things like that and creating and like managing their yards and shit in a certain way. When we go hunting, right? We went out there and all of a sudden you start seeing cars in every single fucking
The commitment to the yard cars.
The yard cars, but that's a thing out there, and all of a sudden it is just what is expected, and all of a sudden you look and like every property's got 40 fucking cars
you
in
need
it.
14 Oldsmobiles just to get started.
But I think like this is the right area where I bet almost every neighbor around here has some sort of a garden that they eat out of. So I think that is something that like creates itself. So when you start looking at like Woodinville, Duval Road, I bet there's a fair bit of people who live out there who do have their own business kind of thing going on, or maybe not as much in there now as there used to be. Yeah. But because Woodinville, a lot of that's like Amazon employees and shit that are kind of like
it's turned
moving
into,
out. But
McMansions is what that area is.
You know what I mean, though? Like I think there's like a certain thing like that. As I backpedal out of what I said earlier to feel better about myself.
I thought that's where you're going. I was so excited.
Yeah, I just, I don't know. But
we'll take it then, Mike. Where were we going?
Old people not understanding tech.
Yep.
Maybe? Is that what it was?
Hang on.
No,
before we went to pee break,
you wanted
to take it somewhere. Old people not understanding tech.
Well,
is that what you wanted?
Yeah,
social media
that was it, right?
in the ages.
That's where we left off.
Because, I would say that at 44, I'm the oldest. Like, I'm the oldest of the people who are on social media. I would say at like a high percentage. I don't think anybody older than me, like the generation above me, is doing a lot of social media.
Yeah, I think you're probably like the first in.
Yeah.
That are like accepted.
I was the first generation to send an email in high school with dial-up. We were the first generation to have like the public internet with like AOL or whatever.
The generation above you still thinks everybody's gay.
Yeah. And a pussy.
Yeah. 100%.
Yep.
This generation too. Yeah, but what they're doing though, they're selecting their tech. They're not on social media, but there's a lot of people that are elderly that do still email.
Yeah,
do you
they
think,
email?
Do you think way back in the day?
My mom really likes podcasts. Not this one, but
yeah, agreed.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out, mom.
Smart mom. Smart mom.
Do you think back in the day, like years and years ago, they were like, these pigeons, these motherfuckers, get on your horse and ride.
Yeah. Just take it to the next time.
They're training pigeons to carry messages.
How lazy are these kids?
Yeah, these fucking kids these days. Anyway, sorry.
Go ahead, Mike.
Old people, technology. So, hang on, because it's complex.
Well, it's going to be crazy when we are the old people that are attached to technology, but the technology is going to be so much more advanced
that we give up.
Well, is it going to be?
But
I gave up like 5 years ago.
Do you think that it's going to get to the point where it's the ease of use is going to make us do?
I think
fully committed. Like there's going to be a point, I think, where the group of the whatever generation is so committed into the technology that they just lean forward into it, and they know there's going to be constantly new technology coming.
Yeah, but that's you. That's Instagram and you.
That's not because I have Instagram and I'm not going to get anything else.
But you've leaned forward, whereas your parents don't.
No. But I'm talking about like I will lean into one specific place as opposed to, I think there's a group where like, oh yeah, I have X, I have Instagram, I have Snapchat, I have fucking this, I have that, I have
all platforms.
As opposed to like, my time is consumed with one. I think there's going to be a point where like everybody's like, oh no, we are in this thing. And I also think that as Meta gets as big as a thing, it's going to turn into a Ready Player One situation.
Yes.
Right? Where everything is going to be made onto, people will work on Meta, people will get paid on Meta, people will be able to order food through Meta, and it will be like you're plugged into this fucking digital universe, and you are never going to get out because
that is
they
their goal.
own you.
That's their goal, and I'm actually glad you're saying this because I think that is Mark Zuckerberg's goal, is to create.
I don't think
literally to become
the guy doing it.
Well, he may be their mouthpiece, or he may be their figurehead, or their public whoever. Regardless of who is trying to create it, quote unquote, they are trying to make the metaverse the reality in which people live, interact, and exchange commerce. Right. I think it's actually important that we start going back to like paying cash for goods and trying to buy things that are handmade, and maybe become like taking a conscious effort to become less materialistic. Fewer things, more value.
It's hard to go back.
I know it's hard. It's
as you go
fucking
forward,
really, it's really hard.
Easy to give appreciation to the things you have.
As you go forward, that is what's going to be the thing. Is going to be like, and that's the kind of, when you really, if you want to get super like progressive and lean into all this shit and like what I'm talking about, if you live online, you don't care what clothes you're wearing. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to wear sweatpants, whatever's comfortable.
Yeah, you don't care about your body composition.
He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
No, but
like
I care about,
fucking...
care about the fucking, the skin that my character, my avatar has.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do some shit to make sure my avatar, my outward projection into the world that I care about, is the thing.
Once again, so
and then I'm going to be trading those things in that realm.
But that's learning about where is technology like applicable to your life. Like, he has Training Northwest. He's like, I hate posting it. It's a job. Yes, it should be a job. Are you at the point where something is, you're not getting paid for that avatar's different colored skin, right? Like, in how it looks in the optics of this community, right? So you can have something as simple as like a platform for everyone to express what they think, but then you can have it nuanced and become a platform to influence, like you're saying. But it doesn't matter either way what that platform is. You're using it to be what that character is, who you are. And even if you change your color, someone else is going to think that color is cool, and they're going to dress their skin. And it forms influence and culture.
Yeah,
and that's the same thing.
Appropriation?
Yeah, well,
no, but it forms culture and what's cool and on it at the moment.
Yeah.
And here,
what you made me think of more is, well, hang on, your ego. The ego you build online, which is a false representation of yourself that just isn't real. And it's very, well, hang on. It's one of the reasons I hate doing advertising on Instagram, is because I feel like people think I'm being fake, and I'm not. I go out of my way to like dull it. I almost dull things down to make sure that I'm not being over the top, to ensure that nobody thinks I'm trying to falsely sell my experience or my previous, my previous life.
Yeah.
And
not a lot of glitter, just more substance.
Exactly. And so sometimes I wonder if I'm shooting myself in the foot by being too dry or having too little personality. But again, it's this, I want to make sure I don't enter the world of like LARPing, where people pretend that they were something that they were not. and I want to be very clear about what I was and giving authentic
I think
knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
That's kind of
But it's
But
representing.
however,
It's
that
representation.
ideal is not ubiquitous across the internet. There's a whole lot of people selling something they are not. They're pretending to be something they are not.
That's fine.
And trying to sell that image.
well,
But
and
there's
they
been
make a lot of money
charlatan-
doing it.
And they make a lot. That's that. So
But there's
and they
been
become
snake
very
oil
successful.
salesmen throughout
Right,
history.
but
There's been
I'm trying to
charlatan-
become successful amongst the snake
Yeah.
oil salesmen without misrepresenting.
You're sticking
don't
with
do-
your morals.
Yes.
You have a
Yeah,
moral
yeah.
standard and a moral code that
But-
you are trying to navigate.
Correct.
This fucking unfair,
Immoral
world,
without a code.
and it's hard to do so.
But don't
So-
give the credit, like, don't pass up the credit to the masses, like the people that do follow you for that authenticity. Like, that is what sells, is what you put out in the product and what you
Well, hang on.
actually
So
do.
what I have
Yes,
seen-
there's
Well,
always
Mike, what I have
charlatans,
seen
though.
is that authenticity is not selling.
No, authenticity is it.
It's what's happening is I can see people selling who I will not name and I will not call out, but I know they're not authentic.
Because the
Yeah,
thing
but
is,
the
is
authenticity of to say I can teach you how to manipulate your weapon,
Mm-hmm.
the certain things, just the basics.
Like, I made a meme.
compared to that. So like no, so maybe these people that you say are charlatans compared to like Detroit Urban Tactical.
he's legit.
Is that the guy? Is that the
No. Legitimately, he's legit.
Maybe doesn't look like it.
No, like 100%.
Well,
He's
his
legit.
videos aren't.
No,
And
he's
so-
110% legit. Mike's shaking his head right now.
I don't believe it.
Why not?
Just the tactics seem goofy.
But
Maybe it's a ploy to
that's
lure
how
them.
legit they are. Like, who are you to say he's not legit?
You guys should fight.
I can tell. He's
How?
not.
How?
How you carry yourself.
He carries himself very like strong and powerful.
Not in his movement, though. Yes,
You don't
your
think he-
bravado,
you don't think
your
he
persona.
fucking-
Yes, chest upright, but how he moves is not good.
That's the thing is,
You know
like,
what? This is-
at some
Black
point,
belt is seeing through movement here.
At
That's
some-
bad
Dr.
movement.
Professor.
At some point, and that's the thing, right? Like at some point, you know that it's bullshit, and
Yes.
you can call it out and you can say that. But until you have a fucking following that can say, "Hey, this is dog shit," like let's be honest, like we're all joking, and obviously, like right,
Yes,
we're making
but-
fun of him, but there's a huge. We've always said it, like 90% of the fucking world you could ragdoll, right? That's just what
Yeah,
it
that's
is,
life.
right? That's life. Like we are as certain individuals, like you carry yourself in a more of a, you fought, you've stepped on the mats, you've done these things, you've been to war, you have been in actual MMA fights. Like when you have those things that back you, you are set to a higher standard of humans, and most people, they don't have that knowledge. So when they see that is 100% real, legit, and guess what, that motherfucker has traction, and guess what, he is also making way more money than any of us are on this social media platform. So whether or not he's real or legit or whatever, guess what, he's real in social media. And there's no
he's real in
denying
people's imaginations.
there's no
He's
denying
popular, but he's not real.
He's not
Real recognizes real.
real.
If it
Is
sounds
fucking
good, you hear
hard,
it. If
and
it
real
feels
is
good, you
not
feel it.
comfortable. But people fucking look at something like that and they go for it because guess what? And whether or not he's a joke, he's really making money.
Well, hey, here's a
He's
question.
making
I have a
money.
question for you guys. So someone who is not real but is projecting something they're not, if they inspire people to go be a better version of themselves, is that what do you think of that? What do you make
Well,
of
that's what I'm
that?
saying. At some point, he is real.
Yeah. He's real in somebody else's imagination.
Yes,
He's
and
real.
and that imagination is now fucking thinking about, I want to be
Inspiring
better. I'm
someone.
trying to do this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that.
No.
Whether or not he's fucking grabbing somebody by the fucking
it's a false
the
idol.
pinky and turning him around.
Yeah.
but
It's a false
never-
idol, but if he's inspiring,
Is
I'm
it-
thinking more like
Mike is
Mike's
shaking his head. He doesn't
sucking on
like
his
it,
vape.
But yeah, sucking on his little fucking.
Listen, you guys,
You smell like strawberry shortcake.
You smell like strawberry shortcake. He's not real.
That's my butthole.
Okay, so think about what you did. If someone was like, I contracted or did something nuts, and they're like, I want to get back into the field. If you saw a video of what his courses are, and then a video from Detroit Urban Survival, which one are you more likely? If this is your job, what are you going to take? You're going to take a real shooting course.
But that's what I'm trying to say.
That is internet.
Dude,
no,
Jesus Christ. What you're not understanding is the fact that, like, what some people think is real is not.
Oh, yeah. I'm not talking about that goofball in the Detroit tactics. I'm talking about people who can make themselves actually look the part of whatever it is they're trying to sell, even though they're phony. Right, like imagine if I had never been in the Ranger Regiment, and I got jacked up and put on a plate carrier, and went out and started teaching shooting classes.
Yeah,
right. And maybe there's
100
people that will never actually come out to the range to take a phony shooting class from someone who has no experience. But they would see that image and be like, I want to aspire to that.
You ever see the tough guy that looks like a motherfucker, and then all of a sudden you get hands on him and he's a fucking pussy?
But that doesn't matter. Whether they imposter to be fake, right? Whether
that's the reality.
No. Whether someone's true, because that's how nature works. Something eventually gets tested, right? So whether someone fronts that they are tough, right, and they're not tough, or they just preach and kind of follow it.
This takes me to that story of the shadow boxing guy that you and Greg told us.
Oh, dude,
that came up in the gym.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you pretend to be tough and you know you're not tough, or you so are out of tune that you think you are.
I think we're getting away from. I think we're getting away from the heart of the argument.
But that's evolution. That's how it works. That's what I mean. But people see the difference.
People don't see the difference, and that's what I'm trying to say.
No, he's popular. Just because you're popular doesn't mean that you're real. Yes, you put out content and superficial shit.
If you're at the front of someone else's consciousness, aren't you real?
You're real.
In whatever form you're selling?
Yeah, but there's so many.
Okay, so if he wanted to change the game and all of a sudden didn't wear a fucking goofy outfit and didn't do all that, and all of a sudden people started seeing him and he started wearing street clothes, and then all of a sudden he wasn't hanging out with all the fucking MMA fighters that he's hanging out with and doing all the fucking shit that he does, because legitimately,
dude, he got thrown over that glass counter.
He got pushed, Sean Strickland.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Body placement? Come on. That's bullshit.
All I'm saying is, at some point, like, people get bamboozled. In how many years how many years has it taken you to fucking fight and been in the fucking the realm of that? But if all of a sudden it was a bowling guy, it was a guy bowling, and there were legit bowlers, and there was this guy that was a little fucking wacky-doo, but he's still rolling a fucking ball down the fucking lane, to somebody who doesn't know, you'd go, oh, this guy's the shit. Look at how many followers he has. Look at, like, he seems a little fucking weird, but look at the technique he's throwing out, and he's saying, like, oh, if you do this and you fucking polish your ball this way and you fucking use this wrist tape and you do this and you do that, and all of a sudden he creates this thing. Guess what? Regardless of what you think or not, he is creating a bunch of people imitating him, and the problem is, like,
doesn't mean they're
if it's bullshit. Yeah, but it's giving people this thing, like Tobin said. If he's in the forefront of somebody's self-conscious and they think it's real and they're going to give it energy and effort, it's the McDojo shit, right? Like, but people do that and turn around and are legitimately selling the fact that, like, Tobin is saying, I've done this. This is who I am. This is what I have done, and this is a legitimate drill in a gun, like, class, and it is not sexy. It is not this. I'm
fundamental.
I'm not trying to make this out to be something it's not. I am trying to fucking throw it right down the fucking pipe to you. This is how we do fucking work, and this is how you get good. When you sit on the side of a fucking barracks and you're doing ready up drills for 10 fucking thousand reps a day, for years, guess what? You're going to be a fucking savage. But doing all this fancy shit looks really fucking cool. So
cool.
you're going to have certain people.
But he doesn't do that.
Who?
He's a persona.
He is the person who is selling shit on fucking line, and people want that. But does Tobin have fucking 18 million followers, or does Detroit Urban Survival have 18 million followers? I'm pulling a number out of my ass.
That's fine.
But I'm just saying, like, at some point,
give him time. How young is he?
At some point.
No, like in that Instagram, Training Northwest.
Hang on, Mike, but I'm censored. I cannot be shown.
It's fine. That's fine. Hang on. It's a time thing. No. It's time.
Anybody who is not a follower of my account
Why am I so worked up?
Yeah.
Sorry, fellas.
It's the marijuana. It's good content, bro. Yeah. Anyone who is not already a follower of mine will never see anything I post. So no new followers can, or I should say, no new followers. But the only way new people can find my account is if somebody literally sends it to them. Yeah, that's it. So they have severe. That is what I mean when they say they've severely like throttled the traffic that comes to my website, because otherwise, I actually think that because I teach authentically and teach authentic things or actions.
That's why it's being fucking an issue, because people the people who control the shit.
I think people would find it and recognize it, but they can't find it, or they don't even know it exists because it's being throttled.
Yes, but
you think
my favorite
thing
to see. What? The government?
The government?
The government?
How's he say it in fucking Blood Diamond? The government?
With Leo?
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
It's a solid movie. Sorry,
yeah,
but the government,
incredible movie. Yeah.
The government's keeping him down.
The very beginning when he hides all those diamonds and the
sheep,
goats,
dude.
Or whatever. There, that's a good one.
I was like, oh, that fucking tricky guy. He knew, dude. He pulled out his knife. I was like, and he fucking sliced it up. I was like, this motherfucker. Anyway, sorry guys. Maybe I'm missing your point as far as what Tobin's saying, but I really do think that, like, there's an entertaining factor and there's a wow factor and there's like sparkle and glimmer that, like, to what you're saying, Tobin, it's legit and it's real. It's and maybe that's why it's being fucking throttled. Who knows? Like, the fact of the matter is, we don't know.
It's throttled because things are happening.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot that's happened.
That's what happened on that YouTube video.
Yeah, but it's happened.
What? That YouTube video? That YouTube video was fucking skyrocketing.
Yes.
And an exponential.
And then it dropped off, and then it went flat for like 6 months. It skyrocketed again a month ago, and then it immediately fell off a cliff.
Yeah, it's probably marked on some sort of.
Oh, yes. I could show you guys. In fact, I'll try to print it out tomorrow. I'll try to pull the data since it's been up, and you'll see these peaks, and it's going up and up and up and up and up and up and up, and then it just falls off a cliff, and it goes flat. And then it's like the algorithm loses track of it, and then it goes skyrocket again, and then it falls off a cliff. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty obvious that.
But the thing is like, there's probably somebody on the other side of it.
It's not only I don't even need to show you the graphs, because I can show you the emails where they say, "Hey, we are throttling down your account." They're not hiding it. They're just telling me, "Hey, your account is censored."
And it's fucked up because it has gotten to be such a mainstream thing that everybody uses, and like everybody uses it.
YouTube,
teachers use it. I mean, the
want to know how to
uses
change the brakes on your new car? YouTube, right?
But it's also a private company. Mm-hmm. And I am such.
That's where I say
I'm such in this.
It's
dilemma.
A free speech
is it
world.
Public, is it private or is it publicly traded?
It might be publicly traded.
But it's
then
still
it's not a private company,
because you can have stock only to the stockholders,
right?
Yeah,
but the people that use it have no rights.
You're right.
So that's where I get a little bit weirded out about it, and I'm like, fuck them. But then I'm like, yo, you guys are too big.
Well, you're
and there's
right.
a monopoly
If
thing.
YouTube is going to throttle me, I wish somebody would launch a better platform. And Rumble has tried, but the reality is nobody watches Rumble.
Yes.
So until all the people who are bitching about YouTube go watch Rumble, then shut the fuck up because you're watching. You're feeding into, and you're being that you are the mark again.
I downloaded Rumble. To try and get on that. It
sucks as a platform.
Well, but I haven't been able to get on the platform because it's like you can't just log on and like all of a sudden I'm in. It's like, oh, give me all the information, the email, and this and that. Yeah. And maybe I did that with YouTube fucking 20 years ago. Yeah. But when I tried to do this, because I'm getting more and more fucking... I'm getting creeped out by the technology, right? So like Chandra just got these fucking dog cameras, and I am fucking like about ready to shut that shit down.
SEAL Team 6.
Hang on. You know what I mean? What do you do with dog cameras?
Oh, you can pan through my house and look at the dogs.
Oh, that's not a dog camera. That's a spy camera.
Yeah, and they've seen my dick like 25 times already today.
Where's the feed? Address?
I'll give you.
What's the web address?
Yeah, I'll put it up. I'll post
we mentioned the dick, didn't we?
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like at some point, like there's
you're not the only one looking at those cameras.
Yeah. And I'm not smart enough or savvy enough, tech savvy enough to know like all the fucking feeds and the video. But I know that is a camera, and that camera is watching me 24/7. When I look at this phone, it's recording me, everything we've ever said. We're talking into these microphones. This gets put out. They're recording all of our shit. When you said that stuff earlier about the government coming back years later, and like it's like we're so fucked.
Oh yeah.
At some point,
no, but we're not. We're not.
Oh,
it may happen, but we are not fucked. Trust me, brother.
No, I don't think so either. Anyway.
That's how societies fall, though.
Did you say society what?
That's how societies fall.
Oh, I thought you said that's how society swallows. I was like, yeah.
Swallow long dick of this law.
Uh-huh. Anyway, back to technology.
What you got there, Mike? I see you looking at your notes.
Yeah, you keep glancing down over
there.
Hang
on. But what was the last thing we were going back and forth on? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to trace my tracks.
Dude, the thing is...
Have you listened to this show?
We're starting to jump around, and...
Technology, government, control, power...
We're being throttled. Tobin's been throttled.
Oh!
Yes.
Hello, boys.
What happened at P-Break, guys?
I'm back.
Dude, literally, we got a message the other day, and he goes, "What the fuck happened at P-Break?"
The world will never know.
Yeah,
there's no record, guys. Sorry,
I got pee again. To be
I just
honest.
have a big blank spot. Should we take a second pee break?
No, just keep going, dude. Oh my god. Okay.
Mike and I are in our 40s, Jordan.
And dude, I honestly, I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, it's coming for me too, dude.
Yeah.
This poor bladder is about to fucking get
we're
it.
just champions of the Core Light. Guys, put down the beer bomb.
We'll be back. All right. So we were talking about the dating app side of social media.
Were we?
We were.
Balls deep in it, as a matter of fact.
And it's almost shameful to admit, but I've been on them since I got divorced.
That's not shameful to admit.
No, it is. Well, it's more like it felt dirty and gross.
Well, you think you also think that Instagram is dirty and gross.
Yeah, I do.
So I mean,
once again,
but there's just a lot. It's when you look. Oh man, again, when Mike and I are in the divine matrix.
Okay.
I feel like I was looking at a lot of these pictures, and I'm just scrolling through loneliness and sadness, and it felt dirty.
But you also said like,
and not dirty real? And like I don't mean like dirty sexual. I mean like it felt wrong. Like this is a program that is preying on people's loneliness. If that makes sense.
But that's why you were there. Did you feel dirty being lonely, or
no?
Is it a
but
tool
then I
people?
realized that you can't. You have no idea. Like once again, just like Instagram, people are putting up a false image of what they want you to think they are. And you have no clue. You can't replace
But
a
it's setting up the
5-minute
runway.
conversation will tell you more about a person than their internet profile.
Absolutely. Right? But it's setting up the runway for that plane to land.
Yeah. If it's honest. Or maybe their runway is skewed 15 degrees
But
to the
at
right,
least-
and they give you a 360 degree heading, but really the runway is at 15 degrees. And
Yeah,
you know what
that's
happens?
fine.
You're gonna fucking crash into the jungle, Mike.
But that's where I go. It goes.
I
into
thought
the
bushes were
person.
coming back, dude.
God, I hope not.
Cubic bushes?
You're talking about landing strips and
Jungle.
runways. My
Runways.
bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But that gives you a place to land and meet that person. And then it's up to the person, the citizen, the individual to use judgment and figure
How many
it out.
people put a false representation
All the
and then
time.
waste someone
but
else's
that's
time?
people-
And at some point you get frustrated and you go, fuck it. This is not worth it. It's not real. It's
Yeah.
not legitimate.
So,
But
is it
what
not,
did it not-
Sorry, I guess my question was: is it not real because you're not interacting with actual human beings, or is it not real because the people you meet up with are not who they present themselves with?
I suspect both. I suspect not half. I have no idea how many of the accounts, but I suspect a lot of them are not real. Like they're AI or they're just
being
bots
created to keep you like. So that's what you said earlier.
They're there to interact with you, to make you think that you are interacting with someone who.
I feel like it's easy to trick motherfuckers.
Because
absolutely.
the goal of the app is we talked about this. The goal of the app is to keep you subscribed to the app.
Yeah, and it's
So
preying on somebody's.
If you were to actually meet a woman you liked and hit it off, then you would unsubscribe from the app, and the app would have failed in its prime directive.
Well, it would
So
have. It would have
its prime directive is
which,
to actually not get you connected with another person.
Yeah,
Because
as far as
mean
making
it's
money.
failure.
Yeah,
But a lot of people have connected over it.
No, I'm
It's
sure.
not
Yeah,
like
there's
it's all
there's
bought.
outliers and accidents.
And I'm not saying connected like we're raising children. I'm saying connect. The point of these apps is to connect,
touch
individuals.
each other's.
Just
souls.
connect. Yeah.
A lot of souls have been touched.
But that's
through
the point of
dating
the app.
apps.
It's doing what it is. But then it's left to the individual, that person. This is where I go back to like what we're talking about with old people and new people with technology. And even these dating apps, I always go to representation. I'm always going to say this because as much as Mike Zedong is Mike Zedong, what that means, I always say, is if you gave the people the masses, communication is the biggest thing. If you can instantly express your opinions to other people on the other side of the world, why need elected officials? Representation. Representation is instantly given to every individual in the entire world. Social media and the internet has been a form of
that's
that.
what you're not
Is he
understanding
trying to
is
sell us communism?
he is.
No,
He's
no,
doing
no,
it
no,
again.
no, no.
He keeps
But-
doing this
fuck
communist
are you
shit.
talking
But what
What-
I said earlier about you are an individual and you have freedoms. You have all these freedoms granted to you as a human being. But the places we go, the Instagram, the Facebook, these places are not free places of speech, right? They are governed, throttled, restricted, right? And so, as you're guaranteed these freedoms of speech, the places in which you hang out are not allowed these freedoms, right? You can't say the things, you can't post the things, right? But I think COVID was an amazing awakening because so much of culture, it showed the shift between traditional media and like the boomers, the elderly. The people that are like, I'm having problems. Remember when you're younger and someone said, I can't program the time on my VCR, right?
yeah.
That was that generation's struggle. Mm-hmm. Now, as we've gone into this next generation and things have gotten more complex, it's not the same struggle in like my time's off. It's a struggle of independent news, of the people that dictate what the news is releasing certain things, smear campaigns, what do you call it? Misinformation, disinformation. To be a person today, you have to be so much more plugged in to kind of seeing what the truth is. The government is apparent because all this communication happens. These speeches that would normally get censored, and then there's a cell phone video of Biden stumbling, and the people that are like, oh no, he's cognitively awesome, it gets shown, and now it puts a hole in their thesis, right? COVID was a beautiful example of that, and especially if you look at, like, take the jab, right? Everyone took the jab because it meant life got put back together. But then it's like, oh, well, now we got all these other jabs. And if you look at the numbers statistically, they consistently go down. And if you look at what Trump was during that time, it was a smear campaign to hate the guy. But now what it is like, everyone's like, it's the red wave. It's finally happening. Yeah, because the people,
how many times
hang on.
Bullshit.
But the people of the campaigns of the dating apps, I'm presenting myself as this. But then when you live in that real life, you get something else. It's to the people to surmise their own answers, the culture, the group, the collective, the growth as these internet things happen. I think more people are turning over. As much as it is a bad thing and it was maybe hijacked by one side, I think the ability to express these things and talk give our side a little bit more power. No way. Did I see a flash?
Jordan's sleeping. Are you awake?
I'm having a light party over here.
Gave up, dude.
I'm listening to Mike and I'm looking at him and I can hear like some heavy breathing. And I looked over and I was like, "Oh, Jordan's asleep."
I'm not sleeping. I'm not sleeping at all. I'm deep in concentration.
Screen time?
No, dude. I'm
Instagram.
I'm doing this right here.
And now I have no idea what Mike was saying.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
We know you didn't, dude. We know. You got caught, dude. You got so caught.
Oh man. Shit. All right.
Well, yeah, so I golly, dude. How do I rebuttal? I think that there's technology. And what does it want, dude? What does this technology want?
What's it want?
Yeah, I was fucking out of there.
Oh my God.
All right, Mike, you got anything left on that notepad before we close it out for tonight?
Yeah. I'll keep Jordan's interest on this one. I was thinking of hanging out with my well, this isn't much of a like a conclusion. This is more of a statement.
It's a quality show, guys.
Herpes is the poison ivy of the STD world. It's the only one thing you can rub on the bed sheets, and now you both got it. You know?
Oh my God,
Jesus Christ!
But all right,
we're calling it right here, bitches. Training Northwest LLC.com. Thanks for listening. All right. So we were talking about the dating app side of social media.
Were we?
We were.
Balls deep in it, as a matter of fact.
And it's almost shameful to admit, but I've been on them since I got divorced.
That's not shameful to admit.
No, it is. Well, it's more like it felt dirty and gross.
Well, you also think that Instagram is starting to get gross.
Yeah, I do.
So I mean,
once again,
but there's just a lot. It's when you look. Oh man, again, when Mike and I are in the divine matrix.
Okay.
I feel like I was looking at a lot of these pictures, and I'm just scrolling through loneliness and sadness, and it felt dirty.
but you also said like, how
and
much
not
of it
not
is
dirty
real?
and like I don't mean like dirty sexual. I mean like it felt wrong. Like this is a program that is preying on people's loneliness. If that makes
but
sense.
that's why you were there. Did you feel dirty being lonely, or is
no?
it a
But
tool to
then
connect
I
people?
realized that you can't. You have no idea. Like once again, just like Instagram, people are putting up a false image of what they want you to think they are, and you have no clue. You can't replace a 5-minute
runway.
conversation will tell you more about a person than their internet profile.
Absolutely. Right? But it's setting up the runway for that plane to land.
Yeah, if it's honest. Or maybe their runway is skewed 15 degrees
But
to the
at
right,
least-
and they give you a 360-degree heading, but really the runway is at 15 degrees. And you know what
that's
happens?
fine.
You're gonna fucking crash into the jungle, Mike.
But that's where I go. It goes.
I
into
thought
the
bushes were
person.
coming back, dude.
God, I hope
Do you
not.
have bushes?
You're talking about landing strips and
Jungle
runways. My
runways.
bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But that gives you a place to land and meet that person. And then it's up to the person, the citizen, the individual to use judgment and
How many
it out.
people put a false representation
All the
and then
time.
waste someone
But
else's
that's
time?
people-
And at some point you get frustrated and you go, "Fuck it, this is not worth it. It's not real. It's not legitimate."
So,
But
is it
what
not,
did it not-
Sorry, I guess my question was: is it not real because you're not interacting with actual human beings, or is it not real because the people you meet up with are not who they present themselves with?
I suspect both. I suspect not half. I have no idea how many of the accounts, but I suspect a lot of them are not real. Like they're AI or they're
being
bots
created
or,
to keep you like. So that's what you said
they're
earlier.
being created. They're there to interact with you to make you think that you are interacting with someone.
I feel like it's easy to trick motherfuckers.
Because
absolutely.
the goal of the app is we talked about this. The goal of the app is to keep you subscribed to the app.
Yeah, and it's
So
preying on somebody's.
If you were to actually meet a woman you liked and hit it off, then you would unsubscribe from the app, and the app would have failed in its prime directive.
Well, it would
So
have. It would have
its prime
succeeded.
directive is to actually not get you connected with another person.
Yeah,
Because
as far as
mean
making
it's
money.
failure.
Yeah,
but a lot of people have connected over it.
No, I'm
It's
sure.
not
Yeah,
like
there's
it's all
there's
bought.
outliers and accidents.
And I'm not saying connected like we're raising children. I'm saying connect. The point of these apps is to connect,
touch
individuals.
each other's.
Just
souls.
connect.
A lot of souls have been touched.
But that's
through
the point of
dating
the app.
apps.
It's doing what it is. But then it's left to the individual, that person. This is where I go back to like what we're talking about with old people and new people with technology. And even these dating apps, I always go to representation. I'm always going to say this because as much as Mike Zedong is Mike Zedong, what that means, I always say, is if you gave the people, the masses, communication is the biggest thing. If you can instantly express your opinions to other people on the other side of the world, why need elected officials? Representation. Representation is instantly given to every individual in the entire world. Social media and the internet has been a form of that. But
what you're not
Is he
understanding
trying to
is
sell us communism?
he is.
there?
No,
He's doing it again.
no.
He keeps
But-
doing this
What the
communist
fuck are you
shit.
talking
But what
about?
I said earlier about you are an individual and you have freedoms. You have all these freedoms granted to you as a human being. But the places we go, the Instagram, the Facebook, these places are not free places of speech, right? They are governed, throttled, restricted, right? And so as you're guaranteed these freedoms of speech, the places in which you hang out are not allowed these freedoms, right? You can't say the things. You can't post the things, right? But I think COVID was an amazing awakening because so much of culture, it showed the shift between traditional media and like the boomers, the elderly, the people that are like, I'm having problems. Remember when you're younger and someone said, I can't program the time on my VCR, right?
Yeah.
That was that generation's struggle. Mm-hmm. Now, as we've gone into this next generation and things have gotten more complex, it's not the same struggle in like my time's off. It's a struggle of independent news, of the people that dictate what the news is releasing certain things, smear campaigns, what do you call it? Misinformation, disinformation. To be a person today, you have to be so much more plugged in to kind of seeing what the truth is. The government is apparent because all this communication happens. These speeches that would normally get censored, and then there's a cell phone video of Biden stumbling, and the people that are like, oh no, he's cognitively awesome, it gets shown, and now it puts a hole in their thesis, right? COVID was a beautiful example of that, and especially if you look at, like, take the jab, right? Everyone took the jab because it meant life got put back together. But then it's like, oh, well, now we got all these other jabs. And if you look at the numbers statistically, they consistently go down. And if you look at what Trump was during that time, it was a smear campaign to hate the guy. But now what it is like, everyone's like, it's the red wave. It's finally happening. Yeah, because the people,
how many times
hang
have we
on,
said
hang
that?
on, hang
Bullshit.
on. But the people of the campaigns of the dating apps, I'm presenting myself as this. But then when you live in that real life, you get something else. It's to the people to surmise their own answers, the culture, the group, the collective, the growth as these internet things happen. I think more people are turning over. As much as it is a bad thing and it was maybe hijacked by one side, I think the ability to express these things and talk give our side a little bit more power. No way. Did I see a flash?
Jordan's sleeping. Are you awake?
I'm having a light party over here.
Gave up, dude.
I'm listening to Mike and I'm looking at him and I can hear like some heavy breathing. And I looked over and I was like, "Oh, Jordan's asleep."
I'm not sleeping. I'm not sleeping at all. I'm deep in concentration.
Screen time.
No, dude. I'm
Instagram.
I'm doing this right here.
And now I have no idea what Mike was saying.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
We know you didn't, dude. We know. You got caught, dude. You got so caught.
Oh man. Shit. All right. Well,
yeah. So I golly, dude. How do I rebuttal? I think that there's technology. And what does it want, dude? What does this technology want?
What's it want?
Yeah, I was fucking out of there.
Oh my God.
All right, Mike, you got anything left on that notepad before we close it out for tonight?
Yeah. I'll keep Jordan's interest on this
one.
I was thinking of hanging out with my well, this isn't much of a like a conclusion. This is more of a statement.
It's a quality show, guys.
herpes is the poison ivy of the STD world. It's the only one thing you can rub on the bed sheets, and now you both got it. You know?
Oh my God,
Jesus Christ!
But all right,
we're calling it right here, bitches. Training Northwest LLC.com. Thanks for listening.